My chosen one, stop for a moment, because what you are about to hear is not ordinary, and it was not meant for everyone, but it was meant for you. This message has been held in the realms of heaven, waiting for the exact second your spirit would be ready to receive it. And now, that moment has arrived. On July 26, a divine shift has been activated, and Archangel Michael himself steps forward with a declaration so powerful that it will shake everything you thought you knew about your life. You have been quietly wondering, haven't you? Deep inside, there has been a question echoing in your heart. Have my best days already passed? There were moments when it felt like everything meaningful had already happened, like the joy, the opportunities, the breakthroughs. They belonged to a version of you that no longer exists. And the silence around you only made that feeling louder. Doors seemed closed. Time felt like it was slipping away. And hope felt like something distant. But hear this now, and let it settle into your soul. What you believed was the end was never the end. It was a divine pause. Archangel Michael is speaking directly to you in this moment, and his voice carries a truth that the enemy tried desperately to hide from you. Your best days are not behind you. They are not lost in the past. They are not something you missed. No, they are being assembled right now, piece by piece, detail by detail, by the hands of angels who have been assigned to your life. Yes, even in your waiting, even in your confusion, even in the nights where you felt forgotten, heaven was not silent. It was working. There are things happening for you that you cannot yet see. Alignments are being formed. People are being positioned. Doors are being prepared that no human effort alone could have opened. What you thought was delay was actually divine construction. What you felt was emptiness was actually sacred preparation. And here is the shocking truth. Your best days are not just coming, they are going to arrive in ways that will surprise you beyond anything you imagined. Not small changes, not temporary relief, but moments so powerful, so perfectly timed, that you will look back and realize that everything you went through was leading to this exact unfolding. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something deeply personal. You were never falling behind. You were being held back for something greater. Right now, as you are listening to these words, there are angels moving on your behalf. There are unseen hands arranging events, shifting outcomes, and rewriting what you thought was already decided. The timeline you feared is being replaced by a divine one. And this new timeline carries blessings that are not just better, but divinely designed for your soul. This is why you felt a stirring, a quiet nudge, that something is about to change. That feeling was not your imagination. It was a signal, a whisper from heaven preparing you for what is already in motion. So do not close your heart now. Do not let doubt steal this moment. Because this message is not just information, it is activation. Something has begun. And in the next moments, you will begin to understand why everything had to happen the way it did and what is now being prepared specifically for you. There was a season in your life when everything felt like it was slipping through your hands, and no matter how hard you tried to hold on, things kept fading away. You remember those moments clearly, the silence after prayers, the doors that never opened, the plans that quietly fell apart without explanation. It wasn't just disappointment, it was something deeper. It felt like a quiet conclusion forming inside you, whispering that maybe, just maybe, your best chapter had already been written, and there was nothing greater left ahead. That belief did not appear overnight. It was built slowly, layer by layer, through experiences that seemed to confirm it. Every delay felt like a denial. Every rejection felt like a final answer. Every time something didn't work out, it added another piece to the story you began telling yourself, that your peak had passed, and now you were simply living in what remained. But here it is what Archangel Michael reveals with unwavering clarity, that belief was never your truth. It was a carefully crafted illusion. You were not seeing the full picture. What you interpreted as endings were not endings at all. They were divine interruptions, moments where heaven stepped in to redirect your path, even when you could not understand why. The pain you felt was real, but the conclusion you drew from it was not. You assumed that because something stopped, it meant everything had stopped. But heaven does not operate within human assumptions. There is something you must understand about spiritual warfare. It does not always come as something obvious or loud. Sometimes, it comes as a quiet thought that settles into your mind and begins to shape your perspective. It's too late. You missed your chance. Nothing better is coming. These thoughts were never random. They were planted, repeated, and reinforced until they began to feel like your own voice. And that is where the deception was strongest. Because once you believed that your best days were behind you, you stopped expecting anything greater ahead. You started lowering your vision, shrinking your hope, and preparing yourself for less. Not because you were weak, but because you were tired. Tired of waiting. Tired of believing. Tired of hoping for something that seemed out of reach. Archangel Michael is breaking that cycle right now. He wants you to see that what looked like a closed door was often protection. What felt like loss was sometimes preservation. There were paths you were about to walk that would have drained you, relationships that would have diminished you, and opportunities that would have taken more than they gave. But you could not see that at the time. All you saw was what you didn't receive. So you assumed you were losing when in reality, you were being spared. This is the hidden truth. Your life has been under divine supervision in ways you cannot fully comprehend. Every delay, every redirection, every moment that didn't make sense, it all served a purpose far greater than what you could see in the moment. You were never abandoned in those seasons. You were being guided through them. And now, as this message reaches you, something within you is beginning to shift. You may feel it as a quiet realization, or a sudden sense of clarity, or even a gentle release from something heavy you've been carrying. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. Because once the illusion is broken, everything begins to change. You are starting to see that your story is not finished. That the timeline you accepted was never the final one. That there is more ahead of you. Not just more time, but more purpose, more joy, more fulfillment than you allowed yourself to believe. And this is exactly where Archangel Michael wanted to bring you, to the point where the lie loses its power and truth begins to rise. Because what you are about to understand next will reveal something even more extraordinary, that while you were questioning everything, heaven was already building something beyond your imagination. Listen closely, because what is about to be revealed will change the way you see every silent season you have ever walked through. While you were questioning, while you were waiting, while you were trying to make sense of things that refused to make sense, something extraordinary was happening beyond your sight. You thought nothing was moving. You thought heaven had gone quiet. But Archangel Michael now unveils the truth. The silence was never empty. It was full of divine activity. There are angels assigned to your life, real, powerful, intentional beings, who have been working tirelessly on your behalf. Not occasionally, not randomly, but consistently, with precision, with purpose, and with a level of care that you cannot fully comprehend. Every detail of your life has been under divine construction, even when it looked like everything had come to a standstill. You must understand this. Heaven does not rush, but it is never late. While you were measuring time by what you could see, heaven was operating on a different level, aligning things that required exact timing. There were conversations happening that you never heard. There were decisions being influenced that you never witnessed. There were moments being orchestrated that had to come together perfectly, like pieces of a puzzle that could not be forced into place prematurely. And here is what will surprise you the most. Some of the greatest movements in your life happen when you felt the most stuck. When you thought you were being overlooked, angels were securing opportunities that had your name written on them. When you felt like you were going in circles, angels were redirecting paths that would have led you into places not meant for you. When you cried out in frustration, wondering why nothing was changing, angels were reinforcing foundations that needed to be strong enough to hold the blessings that are now being prepared. This is not random. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine orchestration. Archangel Michael wants you to see that nothing about your journey has been wasted. Every delay carried intention. Every pause carried purpose. Even the moments that felt like setbacks were actually part of a greater setup, one that required time, alignment, and divine precision. Imagine this for a moment. A structure so magnificent, so perfectly designed, that it cannot be rushed. If built too quickly, it would collapse under its own weight. So instead, it is constructed carefully, layer by layer, ensuring that every part is strong enough to support what is coming. That is exactly what has been happening in your life. You were not being denied, you were being built. There were parts of you that needed strengthening. There were perspectives that needed shifting. There were things within you that had to grow quietly before they could be revealed openly. And while that inner transformation was taking place, the external world was also being arranged to match the version of you that you are becoming. That is why things did not come together when you expected them to. You were not yet standing in the place where those blessings could fully land. But now something has changed. There is movement again. There is alignment again. There is a sense that something is about to break through the surface of your life, and it will not feel forced. It will feel right. Because it is right. Archangel Michael is reminding you that you are not forgotten. You are not delayed without reason. You are not standing still. You are standing in the middle of a divine construction zone, where angels have been working behind the scenes to prepare something far greater than what you could have created on your own. And now, the moment is approaching where what has been hidden will begin to reveal itself. Type "I trust the divine timing" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 528 has just been released over your life. And as this truth settles into your heart, there is something else you must understand. This message, this moment, this divine revelation, it is not just for you alone. There are countless souls who are still trapped in the illusion that their best days are gone, waiting for a sign just like this to awaken their hope again. I feel called to say this with clarity. When you choose to support this mission, you are not just giving. You are becoming part of heaven's outreach to those who are still searching in the dark. Just as seeds sown into fertile ground bring forth a harvest, your act of giving releases light into places where despair once lived. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you." And this is not just a promise. It is a living flow that multiplies beyond what you can see. Right now, if something within you is stirring, that is not SL Ucheadikaki Nostayiri. It is your spirit responding to a divine invitation. The PayPal link is waiting in the description, and the QR code has been placed before you not as a suggestion, but as an open door. Step into it with faith. Sow into this message. Become a vessel through which hope reaches others. And as you give, may your life be marked by overflow, by unexpected blessings, and by doors opening in ways that confirm you were always part of something greater. There is more unfolding, and what comes next will reveal why everything had to align exactly as it has. There is a truth that is about to settle deeply into your spirit, and once you understand it, you will never look at your past the same way again. What you called delay, what you labeled as taking too long, what made you question whether anything was ever going to happen, was never delay in the way you thought. It was divine timing, unfolding with precision that your human perspective could not yet comprehend. You measured your life based on visible progress. You looked for movement you could see, results you could touch, confirmations you could understand. And when those things did not appear on your timeline, it felt like something had gone wrong. It felt like you were being left behind while others moved forward. It felt like heaven had forgotten to answer you. But Archangel Michael is correcting that perception right now. Nothing about your life has been late. Not one moment has slipped out of alignment. Every second has been accounted for within a divine schedule that operates beyond human limitation. What felt like waiting was actually positioning. What felt like stillness was actually preparation. And what felt like silence was filled with instructions being carried out on your behalf. There are moments in life that require exact alignment, where multiple paths, people, and circumstances must come together at the precise point in time. If even one piece arrives too early or too late, the outcome would not carry the same power, the same blessing, or the same stability. So heaven does not rush these moments. It protects them. And you have been walking toward one of those moments. This is why certain things did not happen when you expected them to. Not because you were unworthy, not because you were overlooked, but because the full picture was not yet ready. There were still pieces being placed. There were still alignments being formed. There were still things within you that needed to come into harmony with what was being prepared for you. If those blessings had arrived earlier, they would not have lasted. If those doors had opened before their time, they would have led to outcomes that were incomplete, unstable, or even harmful to your long-term purpose. So what did heaven do? It held them back, not as punishment but as protection. Archangel Michael wants you to see this clearly. You were never being denied. You were being timed. There is a difference between something being withheld and something being prepared. What was happening in your life falls into the second category. Everything you have been waiting for has been under construction, not cancellation. And now, the timing is shifting. You may begin to notice it in subtle ways at first. A change in your thoughts. A renewed sense of hope that you cannot explain. A feeling that something is beginning to move again after a long period of stillness. These are not random emotions. They are signals that alignment is taking place. Because divine timing always announces itself before it fully reveals itself. There is also something else you must understand. Timing is not only about external events. It is also about who you are becoming. The version of you that exists right now is not the same version of you that existed in the past. You have grown. You have learned. You have been refined through experiences that, at the time, felt difficult but were shaping you into someone capable of carrying greater blessings. And the transformation required time. Archangel Michael has been watching over that process, ensuring that nothing was rushed and nothing was missed. Every lesson you learned, every moment you endured, every time you chose to keep going even when it was hard, it all contributed to preparing you for what is now approaching. So release the idea that you are behind. Release the belief that you have lost time. Because what is coming into your life will not feel late. It will feel right. It will arrive with a sense of clarity, peace, and confirmation that could not have existed at any earlier moment. And when it comes, you will understand why everything had to unfold exactly as it did. This is the shift Archangel Michael is announcing. The timeline is no longer something you need to fear. It is something you can trust. Because what is ahead of you is not delayed. It is divinely aligned, and it is closer than you think. There is something happening within you right now that you may not have fully recognized yet, but it is real, and it is significant. It is subtle, almost quiet, but undeniable once you become aware of it. After everything you have been through, after all the waiting and questioning, there is a shift taking place, and this shift is not coming someday in the future. It has already begun. Archangel Michael is revealing that the turning point you have been hoping for is not approaching from a distance. It is already unfolding within your life, even if it has not yet fully revealed itself in visible ways. The process has started. The movement has begun. The energy around you has changed. You may have noticed it in small ways at first. A thought that feels lighter than before. A moment of peace that came without explanation. A sudden sense that something is different, even if you cannot put it into words. These are not random feelings. They are signals. They are evidence that something deeper is shifting beneath the surface. Because every major transformation begins internally before it manifests externally. There was a time when everything felt heavy. Your thoughts were filled with doubt. Your energy felt drained. Even the idea of hope felt distant. But now, something is loosening. Something is lifting. It is as if a weight that you carried for so long is slowly being removed, piece by piece. This is the beginning of your turning point. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that divine shifts rarely happen all at once in a way that is obvious. Instead, they begin quietly, like a seed planted beneath the ground. For a while, nothing appears to be happening on the surface. But underneath, roots are forming, strength is building, and life is preparing to emerge. That is exactly where you are right now. The seeds of your best days have already been planted. The work of the angels that was hidden is now beginning to move into a new phase. One where what was prepared will start to reveal itself. Not all at once, but in moments that will begin to connect, forming a pattern that you will recognize as divine movement. You may start to notice opportunities appearing where there were none before. Conversations that feel meaningful. Doors that open with unexpected ease. Situations that begin to shift in your favor without you forcing them. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. The turning point is not a single event. It is a series of aligned moments that build upon each other. And here is what is important. You must not dismiss these early signs just because they seem small. Sometimes, the greatest changes begin in ways that do not look dramatic at first. But their impact grows over time, and before you realize it, everything has shifted. Archangel Michael is encouraging you to stay aware. Stay open. Stay receptive. Because what is happening now requires your attention, not your doubt. If you question every positive shift, if you expect it to disappear, you will miss the beauty of what is unfolding. This is a time to observe, not to resist. There is also something else you must recognize. You are not the same person you were before. The version of you that once doubted everything is being replaced by someone who is beginning to trust again. The version of you that once felt stuck is now starting to move, even if it is just one step at a time. And that internal change is what allows the external world to respond differently. Because life reflects who you are becoming. Archangel Michael has been guiding you to this exact moment, where your inner state is finally aligning with what has been prepared for you. This is why the turning point could not happen earlier. It required you to reach this level of awareness, this level of readiness, this level of quiet strength. Now that you are here, things can begin to move in a new direction. You may not see the full picture yet, but you are starting to feel it. And that feeling is enough to tell you that something real is happening. Something that cannot be undone. Something that is leading you into a chapter that is different from anything you have experienced before. So trust this moment. Trust the shift, even if it feels small. Because this is how your best days begin, not with a sudden explosion, but with a quiet, undeniable turning point that grows stronger with each passing moment. And what is coming next will reveal more clearly what these changes are leading toward and what is already being prepared specifically for you. There is something forming for you right now that is far greater than a single blessing, far deeper than a temporary breakthrough, and far more meaningful than anything you have experienced before. What Archangel Michael is revealing in this moment is not just that good things are coming, but that something specific, something intentional, something carefully designed is being assembled for your life piece by piece. This is not random favor. This is not luck. This is divine design. You have been asking, sometimes silently, sometimes through tears, what is actually waiting for me? What are these best days everyone speaks about? And now, the answer is beginning to unfold. Your best days are not defined by one event. They are a combination of multiple blessings that come together to create a season of fulfillment, alignment, and deep peace. There are opportunities being prepared for you that will not require you to force your way in. These are doors that will open with a sense of ease, doors that will recognize you as if they were always meant to be yours. You will not have to question whether you belong there. You will feel it. That quiet certainty will replace the confusion you once carried. There are also connections being aligned, people who will enter your life at the right moment, not to drain you, not to confuse you, but to walk in alignment with your purpose. Some of these connections will feel instantly familiar, as if you have known them before. Others will grow over time, but they will carry a sense of peace that you have not experienced in past relationships. This is part of what is being assembled, but it goes deeper than that. There is restoration coming into areas of your life where you once experienced loss. Not necessarily in the same form, but in a way that carries greater meaning. What was taken, what was broken, what felt incomplete. These things are being replaced with something stronger, something more stable, something that reflects who you have become rather than who you used to be. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that restoration is not about going backward. It is about moving forward into something better. There are also breakthroughs being prepared that will shift your circumstances in ways that feel almost sudden. Situations that once seemed stuck will begin to move. Problems that felt permanent will start to dissolve. Answers that seemed distant will come into clarity. And when these things happen, you will recognize them not as coincidences, but as confirmations, because they will arrive with a sense of divine timing. And then there is something even more profound being assembled, an inner peace that does not depend on external conditions. This peace is different from anything you have known before. It is steady. It is quiet. It does not rise and fall based on what is happening around you. It comes from a deep alignment between your spirit and what heaven has prepared for you. This peace will become your foundation. You will begin to notice that the things that once disturbed you no longer carry the same weight. The fears that once controlled your thoughts will begin to lose their power. The uncertainty that once filled your mind will be replaced by a sense of trust that feels natural, not forced. This is not something you have to create. It is something that is being given. Everything that is being assembled for you is connected. The opportunities, the relationships, the restoration, the breakthroughs, and the inner peace, they are not separate blessings. They are parts of a greater picture, a life that is being designed in alignment with your purpose. And here is what makes this even more powerful. None of it is accidental. Every piece has been chosen. Every detail has been considered. Every moment has been timed. Archangel Michael has been overseeing this process, ensuring that what is being prepared for you is not only good, but right. Not only beneficial, but meaningful. Not only temporary, but lasting. You may not see all of it yet, but you are beginning to feel the shift. And that feeling is your confirmation that something real is taking shape. So do not limit your expectations. Do not try to define your future based on your past, because what is being assembled for you does not fit within the boundaries of what you have already experienced. It is greater. It is deeper. It is more aligned than anything you could have planned on your own. And as this assembly continues, you are being guided closer to the moment where it will all begin to reveal itself, not in confusion, but in clarity, not in struggle, but in alignment. What comes next will show you how unexpectedly and beautifully these blessings can enter your life, often in ways you never saw coming. There is something about the way heaven moves that often catches the human mind off guard. You try to predict it. You try to prepare for it. You try to imagine how your blessings will arrive, what they will look like, and when they will finally appear. But what Archangel Michael is revealing now is something that changes everything. You are not meant to fully predict it, because part of the blessing is the surprise itself. Heaven does not always announce its moves in advance. It does not always give you a clear timeline or a step-by-step explanation. Instead, it works in ways that suddenly shift your reality in a moment you did not expect, in a way you could not have planned. And this is exactly what is about to happen in your life. You have grown used to waiting. You have grown used to things taking time, unfolding slowly, requiring patience. And while that season had its purpose, the next phase carries a different energy. It carries suddenness. It carries acceleration. It carries moments where what you have been waiting for begins to appear in ways that feel almost immediate. Archangel Michael is making this clear. Your blessings will not all arrive gradually. Some of them will come as divine surprises. You may wake up one day and realize that something has shifted. A door that was once closed is now open. A situation that felt stuck is suddenly moving. A connection appears out of nowhere, yet it feels perfectly timed. These are the moments when heaven steps in and reveals what it has been preparing all along. And when it happens, it will not feel confusing. It will feel undeniable. Because divine surprises carry a signature. They come with a sense of rightness, a feeling that settles deep within you and says, "This is it. This is what I have been waiting for." There will be no need to force it, no need to question it endlessly. It will align naturally, as if everything has fallen into place without struggle. But here is where many people miss it. They expect blessings to come in familiar forms. They look for what they have seen before. They expect the same patterns, the same paths, the same outcomes. But heaven is not limited to what you have already experienced. In fact, many of your greatest blessings will arrive in ways that look completely different from what you expected. That is why it feels like a surprise. Archangel Michael wants you to release your expectations of how things should happen. Let go of the idea that your future must follow a predictable path. Because what is being prepared for you goes beyond your current understanding. It is not limited by your past experiences or your previous outcomes. It is new. And because it is new, it may not look the way you imagined, but it will feel better than anything you could have imagined. There is also a deeper purpose behind this element of surprise. It reminds you that you are not in control of everything, and that is not something to fear. It is something to trust. Because when heaven is in control, the outcomes are not just good, they are perfectly aligned. The surprises that are coming into your life are not random events. They are carefully timed revelations. They are moments where what has been hidden becomes visible, where what has been prepared begins to manifest. And they will bring with them a sense of joy that you have not felt in a long time. You may find yourself smiling without knowing why, feeling gratitude before you even fully understand what has happened, experiencing a lightness that replaces the heaviness you carried for so long. These are the emotional signs that something divine has entered your reality. Archangel Michael is encouraging you to remain open to these moments. Do not resist them because they feel unexpected. Do not question them because they arrive suddenly. Instead, receive them with the understanding that this is how heaven often moves, quietly preparing, then suddenly revealing. This is the season where what was hidden begins to appear. This is the season where what felt impossible begins to unfold. This is the season where your life begins to shift in ways that remind you that you were never forgotten, never delayed without purpose, and never outside of divine care. So stay ready, not in fear but in expectation. Because at any moment now, something can change. And when it does, you will recognize it not as coincidence, but as the beautiful, unexpected movement of heaven finally revealing what has been prepared just for you. What comes next will address the final barrier that could stand between you and fully receiving these blessings and how to release it completely. There is one last thing that must be revealed, and it is something that has quietly stood between you and the fullness of what is being prepared for you. It is not something external. It is not a person, a situation, or a lack of opportunity. It is something much closer than that. It is the final barrier within you, the layer of doubt that still whispers, even after everything you have heard, what if this is not for me? This is the barrier Archangel Michael is addressing right now. You have come so far. You have endured seasons that tested your strength, your patience, and your belief. You have carried burdens that others did not see. You have kept going even when it would have been easier to stop. And yet, despite all of that, there remains a small part of you that hesitates to fully receive what is coming. Not because you do not want it, but because you are not completely sure you can trust it. That hesitation is understandable. When you have experienced disappointment, your mind learns to protect you. It tells you to expect less, so you will not be hurt again. It encourages you to stay guarded, to remain cautious, to avoid fully opening your heart to something that feels uncertain. But what protected you in the past cannot go with you into what is ahead. Archangel Michael is calling you to release that final layer of resistance. Not forcefully, not through pressure, but through understanding. Because the truth is this: the blessings being prepared for you do not require you to fight for them. They require you to receive them. And receiving requires trust. This is where the shift must happen. You are no longer in the season where everything is being taken from you. You are no longer in the place where doors are closing without explanation. You are stepping into a different space now, a space where things begin to open, where alignment replaces confusion, where movement replaces stillness. But if you carry the mindset of the past into this new season, you may hesitate when you should step forward. You may question what is meant to be accepted. You may hold back when you are meant to embrace what is arriving. This is the final barrier, and it is being broken right now. Archangel Michael is not asking you to ignore your past. He is asking you not to let it define your future. The experiences you went through were real, but they were not meant to become permanent filters through which you see everything that comes next. You are allowed to trust again. You are allowed to expect good things again. You are allowed to believe that what is coming into your life will not harm you, will not disappoint you, will not leave you in the same place you once were. Because this time, it is different. There is a strength within you now that was not there before. There is a clarity within you now that has been formed through everything you have experienced. You are not stepping into this new season as the same person. You are stepping into it as someone who hath been prepared. And that preparation is what makes the difference. So release the need to control every outcome. Release the habit of overthinking every possibility. Release the fear that something will go wrong just because it has before. This is your moment to trust. And trust does not mean having all the answers. It means being willing to move forward even when you do not see the full picture. It means allowing yourself to receive without resistance. It means opening your heart to what is being given without immediately questioning whether it will last. Because what is being prepared for you is not temporary. Archangel Michael is standing with you as this barrier breaks, guiding you, strengthening you, reminding you that you are not alone in this transition. The same divine presence that carried you through your hardest moments is now leading you into your best ones. So do not hold back now. Do not stop at the edge of what is possible. Zap forward. Receive what is coming. Type "I am ready to receive" in the comments if you feel this shift happening within you. Blessing code 903 has just been activated over your path. And as you stand in this moment of release, there is something powerful unfolding, not just in your life, but in the lives of many who are still waiting for this same breakthrough. I sense this deeply. When you act in alignment now, when you choose to give into what is being built here, you are stepping into a divine flow that multiplies beyond your own story. I declare this over you. The seed you release becomes a river of light in someone else's darkness. The word speaks, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days," and this is not distant. It is alive in this very moment. If your spirit is stirred, then say within yourself, "I am part of this mission," and let the declaration guide your action. The PayPal link has been placed in the description, and the QR code stands before you as a gateway, not by chance, but by divine arrangement. This is not just giving. This is sowing into a movement that awakens souls, restores hope, and carries God's voice further than you can see. Move now. Step into this act. Let your obedience unlock blessings not only for others, but for your own life as well. There is something even greater ahead, something that will show you how to fully align yourself with what is now unfolding. There is a sacred moment you are standing in right now, and it carries more power than you may realize. You have heard the message. You have felt the shift. You have begun to understand that something greater is being prepared for you. But now, Archangel Michael is guiding you into something deeper. Not just awareness, but alignment. Because what is coming into your life is already in motion, but your ability to fully receive it depends on how you position yourself in this very moment. Alignment is not complicated. It is not something that requires perfection. It is not about doing everything right or becoming someone completely different overnight. It is about making small, intentional shifts in your thoughts, your energy, and your openness so that you can meet what is already being prepared for you. The first step is awareness. You must become aware of what you are allowing into your mind. Thoughts carry energy, and energy shapes your experience. If you continue to replay doubts, fears, and negative expectations, you create resistance, not because the blessings are not coming, but because you are not fully open to them. Archangel Michael is gently guiding you to notice your thoughts without judgment. When doubt appears, you do not need to fight it aggressively. You simply need to recognize it and choose something different. Replace "what if nothing changes" with "something is already changing." Replace "I don't know if this will happen" with "I trust that it is unfolding." These small shifts create space, The second step is gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forms of alignment because it moves your focus from what is missing to what is present. And when you begin to appreciate what is already in your life, even the smallest things, you raise your awareness to a level where you can recognize more of what is coming. This does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging that even in the middle of uncertainty, there are still moments of peace, still signs of support, still evidence that you are not alone. When you feel gratitude, you are telling the universe, I am ready to receive more. And that message is heard. The third step is openness. You must be willing to receive in ways you did not expect. Remember what was revealed earlier. Your blessings may not come in familiar forms. If you hold too tightly to one specific outcome, you may overlook something even better that is trying to enter your life. Archangel Michael is encouraging you to stay flexible. Stay open to new paths, new ideas, new opportunities. Do not reject something simply because it does not match your original plan. Sometimes, what you did not plan is exactly what you need. The fourth step is trust in action. Trust is not just a feeling. It is something you express through your choices. It is the decision to move forward even when you are unsure. It is the willingness to say yes when an opportunity appears. It is the courage to step into something new without needing complete certainty. You do not need to have everything figured out. You only need to take the next step that feels aligned. And that is enough. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that alignment does not require you to force anything. You are not meant to chase your blessings. You are meant to meet them. And when you are aligned, when your thoughts, your energy, and your actions are in harmony with what is being prepared, things begin to flow naturally. You will notice it. Opportunities will feel easier. Decisions will feel clear. Timing will feel right. There will be a sense that you are moving with life, not against it. This is alignment. There is also something important to remember. You will not be perfect in this process. There will be moments when doubt returns, when fear tries to rise again, when you feel uncertain. That does not mean you have lost alignment. It simply means you are human. What matters is that you return to these principles: awareness, gratitude, openness, trust. Each time you return, you strengthen your connection to what is unfolding. And as you continue to align yourself, you will begin to notice something remarkable. The things you once struggled to reach will begin to move toward you. The doors you once tried to force will begin to open on their own. The clarity you once searched for will begin to appear without effort, because you are no longer out of sync with what is meant for you. You are becoming part of the flow. Archangel Michael is walking with you in this process, guiding you gently, reminding you that you do not have to do this alone. The same divine presence that have been preparing your blessings is now helping you step into them. So take a moment now. Breathe. Become aware. Feel gratitude. Stay open. And trust. Because what is coming into your life is already aligned with you. And the more you align with it, the more clearly it will begin to appear. What comes next will help you recognize exactly when these blessings begin to arrive so you do not miss a single moment of what is unfolding. There is a moment that is approaching in your life, and it is not distant. It is closer than you think. It is the moment when what has been prepared in silence begins to show itself in reality. But here is what Archangel Michael wants you to understand clearly. Blessings do not always arrive with loud announcements or dramatic signs. Sometimes they come quietly, gently, almost unnoticed, unless you are aware. And that is why this message is so important right now. You must learn to recognize the arrival. Because many people pray for change, wait for miracles, and ask for signs. But when those things begin to appear, they overlook them. Not because they are ungrateful, but because they are expecting something different. Something bigger, louder, more obvious. But heaven often moves in a way that requires your attention, not just your expectation. Your blessings may begin as small shifts. A conversation that feels different. A door that opens slightly when it was once completely closed. A moment where something flows easily instead of resisting you. These are not random events. They are the early signs of movement, the first visible pieces of what had been assembled for you. Archangel Michael is urging you not to ignore these moments. Because what starts small does not stay small. There is a pattern to how blessings unfold. They begin with subtle changes, then they build. One opportunity leads to another. One connection opens the door to something greater. One shift in your situation creates space for multiple changes to follow. And before you realize it, what once seemed impossible has become your reality. But you must be present to see it. There is also something else you need to understand. Blessings do not always look perfect at the beginning. Sometimes they come disguised as something simple, something unexpected, something that does not immediately reveal its full value. But as you move with it, as you stay open, you begin to see its purpose. This is why awareness is so important. Archangel Michael is guiding you to observe your life with a new perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is nothing happening?" begin to ask, "What is already changing?" Shift your focus from what you are still waiting for to what is already beginning to move. Because movement is already there, you may notice that certain things no longer feel the same. Situations that once felt heavy may begin to feel lighter. Thoughts that once felt overwhelming may begin to quiet down. Even your reactions may change. You may find yourself responding with more peace, more clarity, more confidence than before. These are signs. They are not random. They are evidence that something within you has shifted, and that internal shift is now beginning to influence your external reality. There will also be moments that feel more obvious. Moments where something clearly changes in your favor. A breakthrough. A solution. An answer that arrives at the right time. These moments will stand out, and you will recognize them immediately. But even then, do not rush past them. Take time to acknowledge them. Take time to feel gratitude for them. Because each recognition strengthens your alignment and opens the door for more to come. Archangel Michael is reminding you that blessings are not meant to be chased. They are meant to be received and recognized. The more you recognize them, the more you become aware of how much is actually unfolding in your life. And this awareness changes everything. It replaces doubt with confidence. It replaces fear with trust. It replaces waiting with participation. Because you are no longer standing on the outside, hoping something will happen. You are now inside the process, witnessing it unfold. There is also a deeper layer to this. Some blessings will not just change your circumstances. They will change how you see yourself. You will begin to realize that you are capable of more than you thought. That you are worthy of more than you accepted. That your life carries more potential than you once believed. And that realization is one of the greatest blessings of all. Because once you see yourself differently, everything else begins to shift accordingly. So stay present. Stay aware. Pay attention to what is unfolding, even if it seems small at first. Because what you are witnessing right now is the beginning of something much greater. A series of moments that will continue to build, connect, and expand until your life reflects everything that has been prepared for you. And what comes next will take you even deeper into this truth, revealing why this message found you. and why you were chosen to hear it at this exact moment. There is something deeply personal about what you are experiencing right now, something that goes beyond coincidence, beyond timing, beyond random chance. You did not come across this message by accident. You were guided to it. And Archangel Michael wants you to understand this truth with absolute clarity. You were chosen for this moment. Out of all the noise, all the distractions, all the countless paths your attention could have followed, you were led here. Not because you are perfect, not because you have everything figured out, but because there is something within you, something seen by heaven, that is ready to receive what is being revealed. This is not about luck. This is about alignment. There are countless people who are still caught in confusion, still believing that their best days are behind them, still trapped in the illusion that nothing greater is ahead. But you are beginning to see something different. You are beginning to feel something shifting. You are starting to understand that your story is not over, that something meaningful is unfolding, and that awareness is not given to everyone at the same time. Archangel Michael is revealing that there is a divine selection process that happens quietly. It is not about favoritism, it is about readiness. When your spirit reaches a certain level of openness, when your heart begins to seek something more, when you become willing to see beyond what you have known, you enter a space where truth can find you. That is where you are now. You may not have realized it, but everything you have gone through has been preparing you for this exact point. The challenges, the waiting, the questions, even the moments of doubt, they all contributed to shaping your awareness. They brought you to a place where you could hear this message not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Because this message is not just information, it is recognition. It is heaven acknowledging that you are ready for what comes next. There is also something else you must understand. Being chosen does not mean everything will suddenly become effortless. It means you are being trusted with something greater. It means you are stepping into a level of awareness and responsibility that requires you to stay aligned, to stay present, to stay open. You are not being chosen to watch from the sidelines. You are being chosen to participate. Archangel Michael is calling you to step fully into this awareness, to stop seeing yourself as someone who is waiting for life to happen, and start recognizing yourself as someone who is part of the unfolding. Your thoughts, your actions, your openness, they all play a role in how this next chapter takes shape. And this is where your power lies. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are not simply reacting to what happens around you. You are co-creating your experience with the divine alignment that is already in motion. This is why your awareness matters. Because once you understand that you are chosen, you begin to move differently. You begin to think differently. You begin to carry yourself with a sense of purpose that was not there before. You stop settling for less because you know that more is being prepared. You stop doubting every possibility because you understand that you are part of something intentional. And that shift changes everything. There will be moments ahead where you will be tested, not in the way you were before, but in new ways that ask you to hold on to this truth even when things are not fully clear. In those moments, remember this: you were not brought this far to be left without direction. Archangel Michael is still guiding you. The same presence that led you to this message will continue to lead you forward. The same divine care that has been arranging things behind the scenes will continue to support you as those things begin to appear. You are not alone in this. You are not walking blindly into the future. You are being guided, step by step, into something that has been prepared with intention. So stand in this truth now. Let it settle into your heart. You were chosen to hear this. You were chosen to understand this. You were chosen to step into what is coming next. And as you hold on to that awareness, you will begin to feel a deeper sense of peace, not because you know every detail, but because you trust the direction. What is ahead of you is not random. It is not uncertain in the way you once feared. It is aligned, it is prepared, and it is waiting for you to fully step into it. And as this journey reaches its final moment, there is one last message that Archangel Michael wants to leave with you, a message of peace, assurance, and completion that will settle everything within you. Beloved soul, now that you have journeyed through this message, there is a calm truth that must settle gently within your heart. Not a truth that shakes you, not one that overwhelms you, but one that brings peace. A quiet, steady knowing that everything is going to be all right and more than all right. Archangel Michael is not speaking to you now with urgency, but with reassurance. You have heard the call. You have felt the shift. You have begun to understand that your best days are not behind you, but are already being assembled in ways you could not have imagined. And now, you are being invited to rest in that truth, not with anxious anticipation, but with peaceful trust. There is nothing you need to force from this point forward. There is nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to control. What has been prepared for you is already aligned with your path. It will meet you in the right moments, in the right ways, at the right time. And when it arrives, it will not bring confusion. It will bring clarity. It will not bring fear. It will bring peace. This is how you will know. Archangel Michael wants you to release the weight you have been carrying, the need to figure everything out, the pressure to make everything happen, the fear that something might go wrong. These things belong to the past version of you, the one who did not yet see what you now see. You are no longer in that place. You are standing in a new awareness, a new alignment, a new beginning. And in this space, you are allowed to breathe again. Feel this moment. Feel the stillness. Feel the quiet confidence rising within you, not loud, not forceful, but steady and real. That is the presence of divine assurance settling into your spirit. That is the confirmation that you are not alone, that you have not been forgotten, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even now, as you listen, things are continuing to move. Doors are continuing to align. People are continuing to be positioned. Moments are continuing to be prepared. And you are being gently guided toward them. There is no rush. There is no pressure. There is only the unfolding. Archangel Michael is placing a covering of peace over your life right now. A peace that protects your mind from unnecessary worry. A peace that guards your heart from returning to doubt. A peace that allows you to walk forward with quiet confidence, even when you do not see the full picture. This peace is your anchor. Hold on to it. Return to it whenever you feel uncertain, because it is a reminder that you are safe in the process. Your best days are not something you need to search for. They are not hidden in some distant place. They are already in motion, already being formed, already making their way into your reality. And when they arrive, they will not feel like something new. They will feel like something that was always meant for you. This is your assurance. This is your confirmation. This is your moment of rest. So let go of the tension. Let go of the fear. Let go of the need to know everything. And simply trust. Trust that what is meant for you is already on its way. Trust that what is being assembled will come together perfectly. Trust that your life is moving into a season that will surprise you, fulfill you, and remind you that everything you went through had a purpose. Type "I receive my best days" in the comments if you feel this peace settling into your heart right now. Blessing code 1441 has just been released over your life. And as this message comes to its gentle close, understand this: what you have received is not just for comfort. It is a living flame meant to reach others who are still searching for hope. I speak this over you. As you release your seed, you become a vessel through which light multiplies. The Lord says, I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing, and this moment is your doorway into that promise. Say within yourself now, I answer the call to give, and let that declaration move you into action. The PayPal link in the description and the QR code before you are not placed there by chance. They are divine pathways for you to sow into a mission that awakens souls and restores faith across the world. This is not a donation. This is a prophetic act that echoes into eternity. As you give, may rivers of provision flow back into your life. May doors open without struggle, and may favor surround you in ways that confirm your obedience. Step forward now. Release what has been placed in your heart. Become part of this divine movement.